All right, so here's one for you guys, for you Yakuza fans out there. They are bringing Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 to the PS4, remastered versions. I guess this is the first time Yakuza 5 will be available in the North American region and Europe. So they're bringing those over here, redoing them. I think they're just remastering them a little bit, making them look a little bit better. There's a screenshot of Yakuza 0. Now, I've only played what's on Steam, and I've enjoyed them. I haven't been really spending too much time. I really would like to sit down and finish them, but, you know, I'm busy. I got a real job on top of this stuff and, you know, family. So I don't really have a lot of time to play video games. I try. And Yakuza is a fun game, but a little complicated if you don't sit down and just really get to know the game, because there's a lot to do, which is also a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Now, I've talked about Yakuza before. I particularly talked about the guy who directs it and made it. This dude right here, Sato. I'm not even going to say his first name. Probably just make it sound terrible. So, this guy has been pretty based before. Talked about, and he had a good response. I really liked what he had to say. He talked about how, you know, yeah, I'm not going to change the way I make the game. I make the game for people in Japan. And, you know, if people outside Japan like it, cool. If not, oh well. And he had some really good things to say like that. And I liked that. I really respected that. That the man's like, look, I'm making the game based on Japanese culture. Japan people are going to like it for sure. I'm not going to compromise the integrity of my vision for anybody. I thought that's really cool. I like the way this guy talks. I like the cut of his rug. And then we find out some stuff like this. So you got a normal thing here. Talks about, you know, the Yakuza topic is even quite niche in Japan because not everyone has a complete understanding of the society. But at the end of the day, there's a nice dramatic storyline that's evolving over several titles. That probably appeals to people in Western territories as well as the Asian territories. I personally very much like the Godfather movies, but I don't have a deep understanding of the Mafia. It's a very human storyline, a human drama. I think it's similar with the Yakuza series. And he's also said before, before in the previous video, it was that the fact that there's a large, well, at least a strong niche female following of the Yakuza games. And they asked him also, you know, does this make you want to change the way you make the game to be more appealing to the ladies? And he said, oh, hell no. No, I'm going to make the game for the people that like the game, a.k.a. boys. And if they like the game, cool. You know, that's more benefit to me, more sales, but I'm not going to, you know, slam on my hardcore audience. I also respected that quite a bit. I like the way he talks. But then you see this, and it's a small thing, but it's still bending the knee a little bit here. So let me go ahead and read you what I've seen here. We have also been told that there have been some changes and updates to localization. That means bringing the game over here. Now, they've done this before. I guess 3 and 4, when they brought that game over here, they made some cuts because they didn't think people would understand it. I believe they even cut out I forget the name of it, but you go in there and you can talk to girls, and they're in the dresses. The names are coming off the top of my head. It starts with a J or with a K. I can't remember. Someone will say in the comments, but you can go in there and you can talk to those girls. I guess those got cut out of the American version. I think they're back in there now. But this isn't the first time they cut stuff. This time they were going to bring everything back except for this. So, changes and updates to the localization, because don't forget, they're making this for the modern world. This is for the modern world, specifically to make certain representation references more acceptable for today's world. That being the LGBTQ. For example, Yakuza 3 has a sub-story in which a man who identifies as a ma'am falls in love with main character Kazuma. At one point, the person gives chase to Kazuma and players have to escape. This story has been cut. It's an understandable decision, not really, but a rare one. Most remasters simply overhaul the visuals and mechanics rather than altering the content to suit a modern audience. Even Sato recognizes that had Yakuza 3 been a different medium, it could have been left untouched. With any old piece of art, not just games, but movies as well, you could leave it as it is because that's the way it was built, he explained. But with the remasters of the Yakuza series, there was a lot of stuff that had to be renegotiated, like likenesses of actors and appearances of corporate names and logos. Some couldn't be renegotiated and had to be changed. Totally dodges this, though. So why this isn't a big deal, and I don't even know how much this is a big thing in the story, but to me, this is still some bending of the knee. Because you have a man chasing after the main character. I'm sure it was quite hysterical. I'm sure it was over the top. The guy was very goofy and weird and going after him, and it was treated as a joke. And you know as well as I know, there'd be a big old Reset era post, probably 30 to 40 pages deep, going crazy about this subplot. This is all they'd be talking about. Would they be talking about the game mechanics? No, they're going to be talking about this. Now, this, for some reason, this feels a little bit different than like an Ion Fury, where they're bending the knee. This is like a preemptive strike. But what's interesting is they're only talking about localization. They're not talking about, in Japan. It sounds like the Japanese version is not changing at all. Just the North American and probably European versions are getting this. So it's a little concerning. Is this how it's going to be now? When games come over here, they're going to take elements out of the original version and change it because of a bunch of babies that don't even play games? Is this what we have to look forward to now every time a game gets made? Like, we're not going to get the natural versions, the real versions. We're going to get, nerfed versions of Japanese games. It's kind of concerning and really disappointing that it's like, well, before we bring the game over here, we better be careful. Those sensitive Americans, they're not going to be able to handle the joke. They're not going to be able to handle the story, so we've got to change it. It's very sad. And I'm pretty disappointed in the director or the producer or whatever. I expected more. I expected him to stand tall. But apparently, bending the knee is something they're always going to do. So I'm disappointed. I'm more disappointed than I am upset. And it's a small thing, I get it. It's not like the game's being radically changed, but it's the fact that it's not being changed in Japan, or maybe it is. They only say in the localization of the game, which means bringing it over here. So the Japanese version gets everything because they don't get all butthurt and whine up and down on forums all day long over things that irritate them and try to get people's jobs taken away over it. And just the fact, and here's the thing, they're not upset about the Japanese version. They won't say anything about that. It's only the localization version. We saw it with that game, Catherine. We're going to localize it a little bit safer. It's a joke. Anyway, That's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.